Yes.
Tzion.
Yes.
Hallelujah. We talked about that
Perfect.
one too. The L has its own sound, so that's hallelujah.
Perfect.
Ahava.
Yes.
Ahavtanu.
Yes. Very, very nice. Okay. By the way, ahava means love.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, ahava means love. Okay. And line 9. Who wants to do line 9?
I'll go.
Okay, go.
Hamalta
Yes.
Helkenu
Yes.
Bitoratecha
Yes.
Harachamim
Man.
Man Harachaman Shutafut.
Wow. Perfect. Very, very nice. Wow. I'm impressed. Okay, the last line. Last line. Line 10. Hillary, you want to give it a shot?
Dang it, I was hoping you wouldn't notice me.
Come on.
Come on. Hotel.
Hotel. Yes.
Is it like hotel?
Yes, the Wailing Wall, yes.
Yeah, hotel. Hush.
Perfect.
Share.
Yes.
Share. Hoshef.
Okay, look at the first letter.
Hishuv.
Perfect.
Hishuv.
Yes.
And Ka'ul.
What kind of a sound is the dot on top?
Kachol.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, right. Kachol. Okay, ladies, you can read. You can read. Please don't hide anymore. You can
Where do you
read.
find the clapping hands? That's so cool.
If you click on
reactions, that's under reactions.
Hello, hello, Rabbi.
Hello, hello.
So we know all our letters.
Wow, wow,
and
wow.
We recited an aliyah. So they are on their way.
We even sang it a little bit.
We even sang it, that's right.
That's so great.
Okay.
So next week, you're just going to have a Hebrew with them. So obviously your computer's all fixed?
Yes, yes.
Wonderful.
You know, I thought it was, well, it was the computer. It wasn't even the speakers. I thought I had a problem with the speaker because the computer was telling me that the speakers are not hooked, which they were. So there was a problem with the computer. But we have a tech guy in Florida, and he works on our computer. So everything is okay now.
Wonderful. So glad to hear. So next week, you're going to officially have a class at 6:30 till whenever.
Yes.
You're done. And then that's the last class of the season.
Yes.
So then moving forward, Malka has graciously said if anybody wants to meet with her individually to sustain their Hebrew and practice whatever you missed. Also, very often our classes have met on their own or study groups.
Right. Well, I offer to join the study group. They must have study groups in the summer, otherwise they'll forget everything.
Right.
And I offer to join the study group.
Very nice. So if whenever, you know, any 2 or 3 of you have an opportunity and would like to create an opportunity for a study group, if you email me, I can set up the Zoom and send it to the group.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Well, I would leave it up to the ladies, okay? You decide when you want to meet. Hillary, where is she? She moved. I even suggested, Hillary, if you want to call me, we can, she missed few lessons. So call me, we'll do it on the phone. Whatever is, whatever works for you guys.
Thank you so much.
Okay?
So nice, Malka. Thank you.
Okay, so
so
next
much.
week we'll do the review pages, all right? This will be our last lesson. And then, it will be up to you whenever you want to get together. Whenever you have a study group, make sure to include me. Okay?
So I see men.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
We'll see you next week.
Bye, Malka.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Malka.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Malka. See you next
Thank you.
week.
Yes,
Thanks,
bye-bye.
Malka.
Thank you.
So nice. Well, Yasha Koach to all of you. That's how we kind of say congratulations in Hebrew. Yashar is kind of forward, straight ahead. Koach is strength. So it's like, may your strength continue to move forward. So Chi, Mandy, Rebecca, a lot of people are saying, let's just keep an opportunity. So do you want me to just set up a recurring Zoom on Wednesdays at 6:30 and we'll kind of do it as a drop-in, whoever is able to be there?
That would be great.
That would be wonderful.
Okay, let me make a note.
Are you saying every Wednesday or every other Wednesday? I missed the beginning. I'm sorry, I was erasing.
Every Wednesday would be good for me.
Yeah, I can
Do
set
it.
it up as a recurring meeting on a weekly basis, and
Okay.
if anyone is there, they're there. The question will be, I'm not quite sure if it's fair to ask Malka to continue to check in every single week.
No.
So maybe by special invitation, if you want Malka to be there. Does that make any sense?
Okay.
Laura, I think we can hear your dog.
I was about to say my dog is freaking out over
Or
here.
someone's dog.
That is true. I shall mute myself.
Oh, that's okay.
Good. So I don't know if you had a chance to do any kind of quick check-in, how everybody's doing, well, what's going on, but I think it's important to take that opportunity, just based on my experience with these many different classes and groups. So Peg, if you want to just tell us, how are you, what's going on in your world, are you up, down, or sideways, or what's going on?
I'm boring sideways, I'm boring up, and I'm boring down. This was a good week because I cleaned my house, so I had lots to do. Me without purpose and all this energy. Time is starting to hang a little heavy, but I'm keeping my spirits up. This too shall pass, I tell myself.
So
I've run out of places to clean, so if anybody needs some house cleaning,
are
you
you
know my email address, just let me know. I will show up with mask and gloves and clean your house.
Okay.
Are you feeling bored, Peg? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I have all this restless energy. I can't sit and read all day. I'm not much of a TV person. If I have things to do, I'm happy. If I don't have things to do, then I go a little stir crazy. But
Do you get the Arizona Republic by any chance?
oh yes, I now read it cover to cover, and it still only takes 20 minutes.
I'm a big fan of Harvey Mackay's column.
Oh, okay, I missed that one.
Okay, it was Monday.
Monday.
Enhance your life during tough times.
It's always on Monday.
Yeah, I found this to be an exceptionally meaningful article, so much so that it was the topic for my Wise Aging group today. We went through some of his points, and people really appreciated those. So if you have trouble finding it,
Who's the author? I could probably get it online. Who's column?
I'll put it in the chat for you.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of his work. I often find a lot that's meaningful there, and this week in particular. And by the way, you're totally invited to our Wise Age. We have Wise Aging Wednesdays at 1:00 every week, and we have Socialize While Distancing every Thursday at 3:30. So if you're
Thank you. I will jot those down.
if you're looking for things to do. And, you know, Sharona Silverman also has her People of the Book group. So, so there's lots to do if you don't mind, you know, zooming in, which I know.
Zooming in. I'm getting much more used to zooming. Thank you. Thank you, one and all. And study group Wednesdays, that's good. That'll keep me on focus.
Okay, great. Chi, how are you and Matthew?
We're doing all right. Like Peg, getting a little stir crazy myself. Matthew has the opposite problem, so I have to like hide from him when I'm bored because I just feel so bad that he's burning the candle on both ends. So I've been doing a lot of stained glass work and can't practice the piano anymore, so that's been hard because he's in the room with the piano. So some of my creative outlets are gone.
So busy.
Huh?
What's keeping him so busy?
Well, all of the changes that we made to healthcare policy through the state, he's the one who has to figure out how to actually implement them.
Wow.
So we voted to do all the stuff and during the emergency period, but nobody thinks about like how that is actually going to happen. So he has to run like, you know, actuarial algorithms and models and all this stuff to figure out like how we're gonna pay for this, basically.
Wow, well, give him a big hug and kiss for us.
Yeah, thank you, I will.
I just want to report as a general background to this conversation that as I have these conversations with many people over the course of my week in various contexts, I have observed that in the last week, there has been a tremendous energetic shift that most people that I've talked to have experienced. A lot more depression, a lot more sadness. Somebody used the word melancholy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That really stayed with me. I think it is starting to get to people for whatever reason, but in various ways. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there to give you permission that if you're feeling that way, you're not alone. I'll say for myself personally, last Thursday was the first day, you know, I'm a very, very optimistic, positive person. It's just my nature. It's not something I take credit for. I was just born that way. And last Thursday, for whatever reason, I don't know why, that somebody asked me, how are you doing? And it was the first time that I didn't just reflexively say great. And so then I started to observe in my environment and that really I'm not alone. So if you're feeling some of that, I don't know if it's any comfort to know that many people are feeling it as well.
Thanks.
So Hillary.
I appreciate that very much because I've been crying a lot in the last week, just kind of things setting me off or feeling, you know, something that I see on TV, you know, normally would not affect me that way. And I'm finding myself like on the verge of tears a lot for no apparent reason. At first I thought it was hormonal, and then other people started talking about that they're feeling the same way. It's kind of dragging along. So your comment about the fact that this is something that a lot of people are feeling right now, I guess I'm just part of that whole thing. So I'm having a tough time. You know, it's hard to be alone. I have my dog, which is really nice, but oftentimes but it's hard to be alone.
Yeah, no doubt that makes it exponentially more difficult. I would urge you to take a look at this article. I'll send it out when I send the recording of this class, but you know, all kinds of wonderful guidance looking at your sleeping habits, pace yourself, learning to say no, finding a quiet place, organization, knocking off the things that you dread to do and doing them, making a prioritized list. Here was a paragraph that really impressed me. Keep track of your goals. Goals give you more than a reason to get up in the morning. They are an incentive to keep you going all day. Goals tend to tap the deeper resources and draw the best out of life. Achieving goals produces significant accomplishments. So I actually gave my Wise Agent group as an assignment to physically write what their goals are, to keep a focus on that. He suggests limiting time with negative people, looking for the good in others, reading more, using this as an opportunity to learn more. And here's the takeaway. Don't expect others to make your life better. And his moral of his article is, tough times don't last, tough people do. So anyway, I'll send you the full text after this. But it's hard to be alone right now, Hillary, and we're glad you're with us right now.
I am too.
Yeah. Susan?
Yeah, I believe me, I understand how Hillary feels about being alone. It is a very lonely existence. Working from home is not really all it's cracked up to be when you're home alone, and it's the same thing. And plus, I will be unemployed as of Friday. So just want to get everything done and kind of think about what's next in my repertoire. So I don't want to clean out closets now because that's my usual. I'm usually off in the summer anyway, but now it's a final, and it's not the way I wanted to spend my last few weeks in my career.
Wow. So now you're going to be home alone without a particular focus.
Exactly. It's me and the dog. Exactly. So,
So have you thought about how you might bring some structure to that time?
Well, I'm good. I'm a structured person. I get up at the same time every day. I go to sleep at the same time, no matter what. A little bit of adjustment since, all of this happened. I'd have no need to get up at 5:30 because I can walk into my office as opposed to get dressed and drive to my office. But there's always home projects, which I've put off because I knew I had a lot more time to get it done. But it's worrisome. It's, I just don't know. I feel very like in between, in limbo, because I haven't really, I haven't embraced it.
Yeah. In my Wise Agent group, a couple of people have had tremendous success and comfort from having a schedule. So one person who really has ADD works in 15-minute increments. Another person who has more of a Jewish sensibility works in 36-minute increments. But the idea is thinking about what are the things you want to do during the day and blocking them out. So the 15-minute guy, 15 minutes of exercise, 15 minutes of reading, 15 minutes of email, 15 minutes of, whatever it is. So I know that the folks who have been able to create and impose that kind of order are doing better emotionally, psychologically, than the folks who are just kind of free floating and where did the day go? So Leah, can you unmute yourself? Tell us how you're doing.
Yeah, I'm, this is the last month of a school year. And right now our big focus is on celebrating our seniors and making sure that students have this sense of closure and celebration and tradition as they exit a really unstable situation and they don't know what they're coming back into. So a lot of the days are just filled with making sure that our students feel like they have completed something and are celebrating, and that we're doing everything that we can to provide them opportunities to connect with one another remotely and celebrate the traditions that are the school. So I find myself more than too busy during the day because everything seems to take longer on Zoom. Everything takes twice as long. And so the work days are very intense. And I've tried to punctuate that with my husband and I take a driving trip every weekend and try to get out into the remote parts of Arizona where no one is, that we can hike and be in nature. We planted a garden this weekend, and so we're nurturing that. We're, finding things that punctuate the work or the home time. And I think that's been really healthy. And hopeful.
You've got some great strategies going on there. Where was one cool trip that you took?
Well, last weekend we did a 10-mile hike to the bottom of Fossil Creek outside of Payson. It's near Strawberry. And we went all the way down to the dam and swam, and it was intense and I almost died, but it was wonderful. But it's really great to be outside.
Beautiful.
So, experiencing the great diversity that our state has to offer.
Yeah. Rachel, how are you? Happy belated Nurses Day.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I think all things considered, it's good. Feeling a little sad. It'll be our first Mother's Day without Phoebe. So just kind of figuring out how to get through that and get to the other side. And so much of life these days is anticipation and then hurrying to get it behind us so that all the firsts are done. But from a COVID perspective, we're doing great. We've cared for over 220 patients with COVID so far. And things are at work are great. So.
So sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, the year of firsts. When did she die? What was the date?
August 5th.
And when's her birthday?
October 29th.
So you've got through her birthday.
Yep.
So what are you going to do on Sunday?
So I had somebody crochet 3 hearts, and we're going to go to the cemetery and we'll bury one, and each of us will keep another one with us. So, just to have kind of a ritual of remembrance and celebration of her and of the place that she played in our lives, and probably not much celebrating. Joey will probably call, but we've let my mother-in-law and sister-in-law know kind of this is just a quiet year for us.
Yeah. Good. Well, I think it's really smart that you have this ritual commemoration planned.
Thanks.
All right. I'll be thinking of you.
Thank you.
Rebecca, how are you guys doing? You get married and then you're together 24/7.
Right. That part's going really well. I'm very blessed that is not a source of stress in a stressful time. I think we learned yesterday, I believe it was, that University of Phoenix, my employer, is extending our work from home out through the end of August. And what that means is I've become a manager of a remote team, and I'm struggling with that transition. I'm looking for a lot of resources and how I can be an effective manager remotely. And I'm really happy that you brought up that you'd noticed this past week has been a little more difficult, because I've noticed that in some of my employees' behaviors that, I've known them for 3 years and they've never responded this way. And so there's changes I'm noticing. And so that's been really interesting. And not that I'm complaining about anything. I'm very happy to have a job and, be okay that way, but it's just so different.
Mm-hmm. Do you have mentoring or professional groups that you can talk to? Because, yes, working in this environment is very different from the work that we're accustomed to.
I'm looking for those kind of resources. I my boss is very busy. We're all keeping really busy, but I know that staying in contact with my employees is really important. So I've scheduled meetings with them, like a biweekly check-in so 2 times a week, we all meet together. But I don't know that that's enough. And yeah, I'm looking for resources. If anyone's got.
How many people are you responsible for?
I have 11 people on my team.
Yeah, so I'm imagining in this brain trust there may be folks who have some insight. So, please, put in the chat or reach out to Rebecca individually if you've got any good ideas for her there.
Would love that. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. And tell Joseph we said hi.
I will. Thank you.
Mandy, how are you?
I will echo what you said and what others have said about this being a tough week. I think I don't care for the heat, and so to go from such lovely weather to very suddenly not have that anymore has been hard. Don't enjoy getting outside at this time of year. So I'm definitely feeling very cooped up. Work is super stressful right now. I've got a lot on my plate, and I don't know if you can hear my son crying in the background. He's been going through some transitions. He's about to turn 2 in a month, and the terrible 2s are fast approaching. He is about to start potty training, so that will be fun and messy, and I'm looking forward to it, but also dreading it at the same time.
Yeah.
So things are, mixed.
Yeah,
he brings so much joy, but
that's early for a boy too.
He's ready. He said he wanted to go on the potty this week, so we're working on it.
Awesome. My 3-year-old grandson has totally regressed through this whole process because my son-in-law's, he's just too overwhelmed to deal with it. The kid he turned 3 March 7th, and he's okay with the pee thing, but you turn around where's that stench coming from?
I'm a little scared.
Well, I hope you have pull-ups.
Yeah, we do.
Pull-ups are the truth in the way.
Thanks for the tip.
Yeah. I don't get it. Why is that strategy preferable when you're 3 and you know what your options are? But anyway, good luck. I want to hear how that goes.
Thank you.
Laura, any potty training going on in your house? Or Laura is muted. Can we unmute her? I think you have to unmute.
There we go.
Yeah,
I unmuted myself.
Right.
Well, I have a little granddaughter who is going to be 2 next month. She likes to sit on the potty. She doesn't produce anything. She usually goes to the bathroom in her diaper and then wants to sit on the potty, but it is what it is.
Yeah, she's starting to connect the dots.
Yes, she is. It's kind of hard for me right now because my daughter also has a 13-year-old stepdaughter who is on the autism spectrum, and she's going through some extremely difficult times of having meltdowns that just frazzle her parents. And fortunately, Helene and Russell are using wonderful community resources and of physicians to help navigate her lability. She goes from being very calm and quiet and loves to do homework, loves to spend time with me. And then if she's told no, or if she's corrected in just the wrong tone of voice by either parent, she just has a horrible meltdown.
How old is she?
She's 13, but she's not, socially and emotionally, she's not a 13-year-old. She's very verbal, but not emotionally well developed. I mean, she's not along where one would expect. So I have been asked to come down to the house a lot, to their house a lot, to be with the 13-year-old, because her dad works from home. He always has. And when my daughter has a tutoring session, she tutors other children, Becca needs to be supervised.
Sure.
And so I spend a lot of time there. And then my husband has had some serious infections on his foot over the last year or year and a half. And all was going well until last Thursday. And I said, you know, your foot doesn't look good.
Wow.
And so yesterday we went to his doctor, and indeed he has another infection, and he's on medication, and he looks better today. But it's worrisome because the first infection he had was very serious. He was in the hospital for a week, and that was a year and a half ago. And then we have a recurrence, and it just worries me. I don't want him to even leave the house. He's not even supposed to walk very much. He's just supposed to stay off his feet, and that's very hard for him because he is always walking the dogs or working in the yard. He's a very active person, and I'm just worried about him.
Yeah. So did you say you have a medical appointment?
No, it was yesterday, and he will see the doctor again next Tuesday. And I expect that things will be much better by then. Yeah.
Yeah, it's you know, hard enough to be confined to your house and your immediate environment, and then not even to be able to enjoy that. It's exponentially more difficult.
It is.
And there's nothing like watching someone you love suffer. I know that's so hard. Well, I hope that in the next week he'll be doing a little better.
Oh, I expect him to. If he doesn't, I'm going to be irritated with him. He just has to stay off his feet because last year he was in a boot for 6 months and he couldn't drive. And I don't want anything. I just want this cleared up quickly. I don't want him to have to go back into a boot. But it will improve. It will. And I love being at my daughter's house. I know you know, according to everything the CDC says, we're supposed to stay at home, but she can't deal with both children.
Sure. No, she's lucky to have you.
And Laura, that is your home. You're such an important, critical component there that you really need to look at how much you are offering and contributing and know that that's where you need to be. So
it is.
That's where you can make a difference.
And Rebecca is just wonderful when I'm there. You know, I never have a problem with her.
There you go. Trust it. Trust your gut.
Yeah. Thank you, Peggy.
John and Leanna, so nice to see you. Do you want to share your adventure of the evening?
Yeah, my adventure of the evening was, so I work in downtown Phoenix, 5th and Monroe, and I got to my car and my keys were locked in it. So poor John had to go 40 miles out and 40 miles back to get me.
But she's worth it.
But I'm worth it.
Oh my goodness, how did you lock him inside?
You know what, I have this routine when I get there in the garage and then I, you know, push the button, but here I leave him in a car, so I just put him in the cup holder and locked the car and walked off. I never thought about it the whole day, and so when I was getting ready at the end of the day, I thought, my keys, my purse, but maybe I put it in my purse. And then I got down there. I was like, oh, and then they're locking the garage at 6, so I had nothing
to
get out, so I couldn't stay there. And anyway, that's first world problem right there.
Yeah. So I was telling Leanna early, if you do not have a hide key on your car,
yeah,
I live and die by this thing. It gives
I
me
need one of those.
You know, I see them in the auto store and I say, I gotta get one of those.
It gives me such a sense of peace
Yeah.
and security.
I think I learned my lesson today.
And I'll tell you, it less than half a dozen times in my life, but half a dozen times or so, that has bailed me out. Just
Well, I always lock the car using the key, thing. So you can't lock your car.
Yeah.
You can't lock yourself out if you do it.
It was one of those freak things. And so it's fun because I couldn't stay in the building because they locked it down. So I had to sit outside and let the Palo Verdes fly on my head. So, but it was fine. We made it home.
And she had to wait for Prince Charming to arrive.
That's right.
Yeah, well, I hope that somewhere on your screen there's a glass of wine.
Other than that, I mean,
I'll drink to that, l'chaim.
This week it's been tough. I agree with everyone. It's just having last Wednesday we marched 41 people out of my place of employment. That was sad. So now we're trying to figure out that 41 people is a lot of people.
That's a lot.
And so you see empty cubes, lots of work that's not going to get done, and so it's that's stressful. And I think too, it's the conflicting news media, and I don't even have news. We don't even have TV or cable, so it has to go far to get to me. Like, who caused all this? And so I don't think we're ever going to know what happened. What really happened that caused this whole thing?
I just wish there was a news outlet you could trust. That doesn't exist anymore.
Well, that's you listen to one thing and you go, okay, and you listen to the other thing and you go, oh no. That's just the conflicting information that we're getting. And my sister had a heart attack.
It's an interesting point you make, that's part of the
you can't sort it out.
Disconcerting nature of where we find ourselves is just not only don't we know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, how to control where we're going, how much more time, but then not even having something that we can truly rely on. Yeah, you're right. It's so unsettling.
And my sister had a heart, she felt some heart pain, so she went to the hospital. They admitted her. They went in to check a stent that she had put in, and they poked a hole in her artery in her heart. So then she was, bleeding all around the heart. And so the only thing they could do is put some fat from her thigh into the heart to clog the artery, which caused that part of the heart to die. And so it's very painful, and none of us could go. It was very stressful.
Oh my God.
She's home now, but she's still in a lot of pain and will be in a lot of pain for months until that part of her heart dies.
The cure is worse than the disease.
Yeah, simple procedure to just see what was causing, the pain, and now she's got a real scary situation going on, and she's lively and usually happy and so healthy, and she has 11 children.
God.
So I mean, everyone was upset, but she's home now.
So Chi, I just wanted to follow up. You mentioned that you're not able to play the piano and that's a source of tension in your life. Is that because the piano is in the room where Matthew is now working full time?
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like a piano where you can plug, it's like a traditional piano, not like an electric one where you can plug in headphones. So.
Would you be able to practice on a keyboard if you had access to a keyboard?
I would.
I'm going to check with my daughter because she's got a keyboard other than her 3-year-old pounding on it every once in a while. I don't think she's using it. I wonder if she would allow someone to borrow. Gee, I'm going to check. I wrote that down to check with Kim, because a keyboard would give you the opportunity to practice wherever you are.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'll check with Kim. I'll see. I'll let you know, by text.
Oh, thank you, Peg.
We'll see. Or maybe somebody else has a keyboard in their home they're not using, but you're trustworthy, you would give it back, I know.
I would.
On an up note, we hiked 106 miles last month.
Wow.
We were moving.
265,000 steps.
Wow.
Who's counting?
So, I think it's really good to have an opportunity to hear how everyone's doing. This is our last official class, as we said. John and Lana, I think you might not have been here, but we're going to set up, first of all, Malka wants to formally make up last week's class next week, so you'll have one more Hebrew class. And then we're going to set up through the summer a weekly 6:30 check-in, Hebrew practice, review session, a study group, kind of. So I'll send you the link for that. And, as people are able, and Malka's happy to meet with people more formally, individually. Did everybody get the schedule for next year?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so good. So let me see where that document is. All right, I'm not adept enough to screen share it with you. I used to be able to do that, but now I can't do it anymore. But so I'm just going to talk through it. So we're going to start again formally on September 16th and talk about the high holidays, and then October 7th, Sukkot. Then by October 21st, we'll drill down with the cantor to really looking at the service. And then Rabbi Chernow is going to meet with you on November 4th. So have any of you been to the adult Bnei Mitzvah service in the past?
No.
I have.
A couple. So you might remember this, we give out a service booklet as part of that service that you will experience, God willing, live and in person with all of your friends and loved ones. And you will each have the opportunity in that booklet to craft and share a personal statement about what this experience means to you. And I'm going to put on my list of things to send you some samples from the past about personal statements. But Rabbi Chernow is going to meet with you then to go over how do you begin to think about that. And then we've introduced our Torah portion, but November 18th, since we have a double Torah portion, we'll do a deeper dive into the first portion on November 18th. Then we're going to take a break to talk about Hanukkah, which we haven't talked about, and particularly about traditions about war and peace in Judaism. And then right before the winter break, the cantor is going to talk to you about finalizing the service outline, who's going to lead which prayer, and who's going to read which verse of Torah. Then we're going to come back at January 13th and go deeper into the second parsha, Bechukotai. On February 3rd, Rabbi Mari is going to meet with you and talk about how do you think about writing a Devar Torah. Typically, about 3 people from the class prepare Divrei Torah of, let's say, approximately 500 words. So you might want to be thinking about if that's something that intrigues you to do, you might want to consider doing that. And then I've allowed one more week, since we have so much Torah in our class, that one more opportunity for us to really look at both of our parshiot.
Wait, so sorry, Rabbi.
Yeah.
What intrigues us?
To write a commentary on the Torah portion that you might want to teach to the community at your service.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have probably about 3 of you that will look at all of the issues in these Torah portions and basically teach one of them that intrigues you. Then I set aside a class on March 3rd to talk about the talit. So typically, the adult Bnei Mitzvah acquire, as part of this process, a talit. How many of you actually own a talit right now? Anybody? A couple of people. So for most people, becoming bar or bat mitzvah is the opportunity to acquire a talit. So we're going to look at some of the meanings and traditions about the talit. And I just want to throw out there as an idea, it is completely possible to make your own talit. So you might want to think about that. Anybody have any sewing skills among this group? Leanna. So I don't know how much time you have, Leanna. Rachel. So what has happened, what could happen is that individuals can acquire a piece of fabric that you love, that you might want to have as a talit. I bet there's somebody in the community that I could have to make the atara. Hang on a second.
Yes,
I just want to show and tell. So what we call at the top of the talit, there's very often this band. We call it an atara. It very often has the blessing. And there's a wonderful woman in our congregation named Deborah Mendelson, who she sort of got the pattern set. And in the past, when we've had talis making workshops, she's been very willing to make atarot. And so, then Rachel and Leanna, if they were willing, could sew them on. And then the thing with the talit is the fabric can be any fabric that you love. The important thing is the tzitzit. So all we would need is somebody who knows how to make a buttonhole, to make 4 buttonholes on the corners. And we could actually, at that class, make our own talit tote. So just throwing that out as an idea. But for sure, even if we don't make talit tote, we're going to talk about talit tote and the meaning of those. And then March 17th is kind of a class like this one, a final class, wrap up, what have we missed, what questions are still outstanding. And then you'll see we go into our rehearsal schedule. I think I had planned like 3 full rehearsals. And at one of those will be a dress rehearsal where we'll take our class photo. And that will be also incorporated into the booklet that we disseminate at the service itself. So, plan to be there for the rehearsals, and particularly the photo op, and no guarantee how long that will last. So it might go a little bit longer than a typical class, but you'll be done with Hebrew at that point and just kind of practicing. So everybody is very comfortable with the service, the flow of the service, what it's like to stand at the microphone and lead a prayer, and what the choreography is with the Torah service. So please put all those dates on your calendar, and looking forward to that.
We don't have to read our personal statements though, right?
You do not have to read your personal statements, no.
Okay.
They're all just published in the book. And I'll share with you 1 or 2 samples of what that looks like, to just, give you an idea what people have written in the past.
I remember last year during the ceremony, there were certain people that did take the microphone and talk about what their journey was like. Is that?
Yeah, so usually that's in the form of a reflection about the Torah portion.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so think about if that's you want to be one of those people, and you could just send me an email.
What will the Torah, the whole Torah portions be? What will the portion be for that?
So you have 2 parshiot. I'll put them in the chat. We talked about this last time with me, a reminder about why we have, and you should have received an email from Joan with both those portions. Did you get that?
We did get that.
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
Yeah, Laura, did you receive?
That was the one that we had last week then.
Right. So you have 2 Torah portions, Bahar and Bechukotai. They're the 2 last portions in the book of Leviticus. And look at Susan, such a good student. She's got them all printed out and in her binder already. Oh yeah.
Are they flagged though? Do you have tabs on them? You need to work on that, Susan. You can do better.
Not tab, but there is a divider between the two.
Okay. Okay. As long as there's some distinction. Okay. I'm satisfied.
Okay, good. Whew. Thank goodness. We met the Peggy standard. So as far as Torah teaching, we can draw on any of those themes from either of the portions. And you will each have the opportunity, if you don't want to read Torah, it rarely happens, but it does sometimes happen that people in the class don't, that's not something they want to undertake, but most people find that very meaningful to have an opportunity to read from the Torah, usually 1 to 3 verses, depending on how comfortable you are with the Hebrew. Yes, ma'am. Susan, did you have oh, no, she's muted.
I was adjusting my screen. I'm tired of looking at my gray stripe. So it cuts off half.
A lot of that going on. Yeah, people are making the decision to reveal their true colors. No.
You can order hair color on Amazon.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's not that easy.
I have some hair powder if you want it.
I have everything. I've done temporary color twice. I have the powder, I have the spray, I have the mascara, I have it all. I also have a hair appointment 2 weeks from. More importantly, it's going to happen.
Yeah, I guess the hair salons are getting ready to open up with certain restrictions. Good.
Yeah, because the important things,
First world problems.
It's ridiculous.
But how do you really feel?
Yeah. You can depend on me for a blunt.
A candid.
Yes, I'm sorry. I can't help it. I have no mouth filter. I can't help it.
Uh-huh.
Isn't it all about like how you feel about yourself? And if it bothers me, to look and see that gray, then I should take care of it. Not like someone in my next door app who's just can't imagine not having her fingernails done, and everybody just ravaged that poor woman.
Oh,
gosh,
looking for a manicurist to come to the house.
Interesting. I hadn't even heard about or thought about that. That's fascinating. So we've got about 10 more minutes. What I'd like to do is see what questions you have either about where we're going in our study or looking back at the Siddur, if there's a prayer that we didn't spend as much time on it as you hoped, or you missed it and you like, what is this prayer? What's it all about? Just, to take the last 10 minutes for final important questions that you may still have.
Where's your dog? He's playing somewhere. Where is he?
In theory, we've moved through an overview of the entire service.
I guess my question is, that was quick. I mean, we really didn't dwell on any of the prayers or the order of the service. We touched upon them diagrammatically. I mean, are there some simple primers or resources that you would recommend if we wanted to delve over this long summer? And my God, already the spring has lasted 3.5 eons. So who knows how long the summer will be. I mean, we really didn't spend a lot of time on the prayer portion of the service. So I'm wondering what would be a supplemental reading, whether Larry Hoffman or there is somebody out there that's got a very digestible layman's description of the service and the rituals.
So a couple of things. Yes, Larry Hoffman is great. The My Prayer Book series, that's pretty in depth, but from a non-Orthodox perspective, so very accessible. There's also a wonderful website, My Jewish Learning, that I really like, and I like it for 2 reasons, Peggy. One is because the information is accurate, and the second is because it's accessible and digestible. So
And you call that My Jewish Learning?
Yeah, it's in the chat. myjewishlearning.com. So great go-to source. The other thing, Peggy, I strongly recommend is just taking our book that we have and read the footnotes. If you haven't read
I haven't.
all of the footnotes and the journal pages, I would start there.
Okay.
You know, there's a wealth of information right here. And did they include, there is a brief introduction. Yeah, there's not much in the way of an introduction here, but just start.
They do have a lot of commentary.
Yeah, start
on
with
the left-hand page.
Yeah, start with the footnotes and the commentary right in your own book here. And I have a sense that could keep you busy for quite a while. And by the way, as your study group is meeting over the summer, in addition to just maintaining your Hebrew skills, that could be a wonderful focal point. Is if each time you meet, if you just, you know, let's look at 5 pages. Read the translations. What does the translation say? How does it speak to you? Are there verses in the translation that make your heart sing, and then there are verses that make you scratch your head?
Or pull your hair out.
Or pull your hair out. Don't pull your hair out, because you know, we're all trying to preserve our hair and our.
Yeah, good suggestion. So thank you.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. No more questions. Everybody's good. Well, just so you know, I always want to be available. Don't hesitate to email me if there's anything I can do for you from a personal perspective, as a student. Again, those of you who are of age, if you want to hang out in the Wise Aging class, anybody who wants to participate in the Thursday 3:30 socialize while distancing. It was great to have Hillary join Torah study this past week. Torah study is going to be Susan.
Susan was there too.
Susan.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you should tell everybody like who they need to contact to get the materials, and that was, you know,
Okay,
that was interesting.
All right, great.
John and Leanna were there too.
Yeah, it was lovely.
They're old. They're regulars.
We're not that old.
We're old school. We have a history there.
Yeah, you have a history.
We've been there in person.
You look like you were very dubious the whole time. You
were hiding out by
sunglasses on. You were looking at it. They were like, "Yeah, I'm not buying it."
We were by the pool, sitting there and going, "Maybe we should have a mimosa." And I go, "No, it's study time."
Listen,
so we had to run over in our bathing suits.
I was having a mimosa. I told Susan, I said, yes.
I knew you were drinking mimosas. I saw that.
Yeah, you did. You had a fancy glass.
I picked my oranges that morning, and I was just
And
like,
you
I went
filled
to
it
a
up.
Zoom wedding the night before.
orange
I had leftover champagne. I was
It
like,
just so happens
It
that
wasn't your fault.
the
It's not your
regular
fault.
Sunday morning Torah study group is studying the Parsha of Bechukotai. We're in Leviticus.
Yeah.
26 right now. And that just is 100% pure coincidence. So
That's why we all tuned in.
You're all invited Sunday morning, 9:30 to 10 is the gather and schmooze and connect. And then 10 to 11 is the class. And if you want to hang on, if you don't mind waiting a second, I'll gather the Zoom link and I can put it in the chat for you. So you'll know how to
Definitely
find it.
worth it. Very good.
Yeah, let
Oh,
me.
interesting. You know what's the problem, Rabbi, though? The conversation moves so fast that if you decide you want to say something, it's already gone past. It's like a stream. It's like a river.
You are so funny because this group has been studying the Torah for. Okay, I did that so fast that it didn't copy. Let me try again. Copy meeting invitation. Yes, copy meeting invitation. Paste. I don't know. It doesn't want to.
Just do email.
The spirit is willing, but the flesh is not able. Let me see if I can just.
You can send it in.
If you have time,
email,
it's definitely worth it.
I'm going to try one more time. Maybe if I just.
It's pretty much in the EFI every week, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Talk about it and include the Zoom links for.
Okay. I've got some time tomorrow. I'll download this recording. I'll upload it to YouTube. I'll send it to everybody and get you all the stuff. All right. What else do we have in chat? The Cantor's Trope class. Yes. Good tip.
Yeah.
What time is that again? His trope class?
I think Thursdays at 7. I think it's 4 Thursdays at 7. Yeah, that's a brilliant suggestion for this group.
I forgot about it, but I don't know if it's too late to.
It's not too late. Deb and
I
are taking it, Hillary. Yeah, so let me see.
I thought it was at 7:30.
All the overachievers are taking it, I can tell.
On my calendar, it says 7:30.
Just kidding.
4 weeks. It's a super great idea.
It was in the E-Kai from Temple Kai on April 30th.
And I think even last week it was in again. I just forgot to save it, but I think we'll get an E-Kai maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, but the class is Thursday.
It says,
sometimes the E-Kai doesn't come till Friday. So
it says learn to chant Torah in a 4-week Zoom course.
Perfect.
Thursday is 7:30 to 9, starting May 7.
Fantastic.
So, how do I get it to everybody?
All right.
We once had a group.
Just do a reply all to one of our emails.
Yeah, like Rabbi's most recent invite to the Zoom. Any of those you can send them out on. I forgot about it. This would be good.
It's got to click here to register, which if I take a picture and send it to everybody, nobody's going to be able to do it.
I bet if you contact Joan Neer, Jane Neer at templehigh.com, she usually.
So that's who you have to contact to register. So anyone who's interested, if they want to just send Joan an email, she can send you the information and get you on Cantor's list.
Jane Neer, JNEER at templehigh.
Yeah, I just put that on the chat.
I forget if it's org or com.
It's com.
Com, thank you.
Templehigh.com. All right, good. Well, everybody take good care. Be in close.
Thank you.
I hope to see you soon and often on many Zooms and even more so in person.
Yeah, in person from your lips.
Thank you very much, Rabbi. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, Rabbi. So nice.
Thank you. Good night.
All right.
Night.